Disclaimer, I do not dislike CinemaSins, and that is not a lie. For my next Everything Wrong with CinemaSins video, I'm going to be saying the video on the Prince of Egypt, and I would like to give shoutouts to both a friend and Taffy Talks for requesting this video. Enjoy the video, everyone.
Comcast.
Pointing things out on the screen.
46 seconds of opening logos.
Jeremy begins a video complaining about the logos cliche.
Reading.
Yeah. So?
Also, I love that DreamWorks has a content warning at the front of this that basically says, hey, we may have changed your religion a bit, but hope we did you proud.
Sinning something you like.
Deus ex hippopotami, from the literal Deus.
I wouldn't call this a Deus Ex Machina because the hippos aren't trying to save Moses from being eaten. What's really saving him here is the force of the water waves.
Sis sings about how he's safe now because a woman picked him up out of the basket, as though she knows for certain they won't just send that child to the Egyptian version of child services, which would probably be a horrible place with lots of untrained cats, but would still be better than death.
Well, the book of Exodus said that Moses is safely taken in as an infant, so since that is this movie's source material, this has to be the case here as well if it is going to be faithful to its source material.
Come on, Moses, admit it, you always looked up to me.
Mid-chase puns.
Yeah, that's what we just saw in the movie here. How is it wrong here?
Acting like sand is water.
I know he will live up to your expectations.
Being wrong.
Yeah, that's the point. How is this a sin?
Is this how they filled wineskins back then? Because it's really wasteful.
Well, I believe this can explain to you how that process worked in ancient times.
Nobody will even notice us coming in.
Classic Disney. Wait.
So, you're acknowledging that this isn't a Disney movie and are still sinning this movie for that anyway?
We're about to find out this is someone that's been tied up here, and I can't decide which is more ridiculous. That they would sit this still for this long to maintain this sexy silhouette effect, or that they just stayed kneeling on the bed even though their legs are completely free to move.
Okay, you're not completely wrong here, but the movie does need a way to show us what Zipporah has done in order to escape from the palace.
Moses watches her escape because he is in love with her after 60 seconds time with her. And yes, the Bible is horny as f***.
Narration.
But also, the fact that he ends up exiled and meets back up with her and marries her is, well, this story has a lot of convenience. I suppose it could be taken as God working in mysterious ways, but this story packs more coincidences than Forrest Gump.
I mean, yeah, without convenient things, this movie wouldn't happen. So I think this is a good time to give out my award.
He sings a song he had sung to him when he was a newborn infant, and yet somehow he remembers it. I can't remember which annoying song was stuck in my head last week. Oh wait, yes I can, it was Walking on the Sun.
First of all, a song being stuck in your head doesn't have any relevance to this movie. Second of all, narration.
But also, telling the story of that one time you murdered all the babies by painting it on a wall. Why did you commission a giant temple mural of the baby slaughter?
Because the purpose of ancient Egyptian wall paintings is to provide a fascinating glimpse into the past.
He had a bad dream and then woke up and saw a murder wall, and he's just going to turn his life upside down immediately. Whereas when I had a bad dream and woke up to see a murder wall, I just rolled back over and went to sleep and let the FBI keep doing their job.
Ignoring the second part of your sin, this was actually a belief from ancient Egyptians. They believed that dreams were like oracles that brought messages from gods, and that dreaming was the best way to receive divine revelations.
Sometimes, for the greater good, sacrifices must be made.
Like eating a Taco Bell?
Jeremy says something random cliche.
So, you've just learned your father is a baby-killing hate machine. I know times seem tough now, but have a Pepsi.
Is this where you found me?
Moses, please try to understand.
How does he know this is where he was found? Because there's water here? Also, how does she know he means his adoption, and why does she immediately drop her guard and tell the truth?
Well, Moses saying, "Is this where you found me?" is obviously him referring to him being adopted, so it makes sense for Queen Tuya to tell him the truth here.
Ah!
Okay, so how is that a sin?
Wow, his past got erased super fast.
Pointing things out on the screen.
I understand why Moses just surrenders to the sandstorm, but I'm not sure how it doesn't kill him, or at least eat off half his skin. Has the movie ever sandstormed?
Well, as I've said many times before, in these types of movies, the main character, meaning the protagonist, doesn't die.
My father, Jethro, High Priest of Midian.
Is she the narrator?
No.
That is a fake-ass looking fire.
I agree, but I'd argue that everything looks fake since this is a 2D animated movie.
I've done nothing in my life worth honoring.
CinemaSins.
Jeremy sins himself cliche.
This movie glosses over attraction, courtship, and a host of other human emotions just to marry these two as quickly as possible.
Narration.
Also, this Heaven's Eyes song isn't even about them falling in love at all.
Well, like I said in the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 video, the lyrics of a song don't need to exactly match something happening in a movie.
I know every convenience in this movie could probably be chalked up to Providence and all, but this sheep running off and just happening to lead Moses to God's eternal brush fire seems convenient and unnecessary.
Well, similar to what I said earlier, without convenient things, how else would the story of a movie be told?
I am that I am.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, I believe this can explain to you what that expression means.
Hey, boss, how we gonna write this conversation where he tells his wife he heard from a fiery bush in the mountain caves and she takes him seriously? Mute the dialogue and swell the music. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's what happens here. What's the problem?
Ramses magicians sure need a lot of darkness, shadow, and mirrors.
Yeah. So?
I think we're supposed to believe that Moses made a stick turn into an actual snake, and that these guys are hucksters pulling vipers out of a hat. But how did they have this whole stage show ready when no one knew Moses was even showing up today?
I don't think it matters. Things need to happen somehow.
Staph infections.
Well, yeah, since the first of the 10 plagues of Egypt was water being turned into blood.
Look, I'm not trying to be sacrilegious or anything, but the frog plague would have been kind of awesome, right? I'm just saying, of the 10, the look a bunch of frogs one seems like a cakewalk. No one in Magnolia seemed all that put out by it.
Sure, it might seem tame in comparison to the water turning into blood, but it was actually pretty horrific since frogs were everywhere in sight.
Oh, let me guess. You want me to let your people go?
But how do you get up there, though?
Maybe from climbing up there?
But also, let them go, peace, be gone. We will not let you go, let them go.
How is you singing here a sin of this movie?
I hoped I would find you here.
Well, it's a good thing that you were able to get here without any guards or security stopping the guy that's literally bringing plagues on them.
Yeah, so?
I am the morning and the evening star.
I am the morning and evening star, 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 morning and evening star, morning and evening star, morning and evening star, morning and evening star.
Take a lamb, and with its blood...
What? Where's the blood coming from? How do you get the blood from the sweet tiny little... No!
So, doesn't that answer your question as to where the blood comes from?
Biblically accurate, but it's also a kids' movie that is showing the murder of a bunch of kids.
First of all, just because a movie is animated doesn't mean that it's for kids, and I don't even consider this to be a kids' movie at all. Second of all, like the Birdman said in his Hercules video, the concept of death does need to be taught to kids at some point, since everybody dies.
Is that Orion? It's a nice bit of artistic touch there, but this is a DreamWorks movie, man.
Sinning something you like.
Moses comes out with the Ten Commandments, and that was the end of the story of Moses and the Hebrews.
Sure, this is where the movie ends, but the original book of Exodus does continue on after this part. And here's the end result, everybody. This in total was 133, and the sentence will be stranded in the desert. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a nice day.